Yeah, they're going to look at us and go, how in the hell are they getting all these women?
This is so true.
We got moves, okay?
I met Joan at work, and I worked in a small office.
If you haven't guessed it, we fucked one of our neighbors.
Bow, bow, bow.
And as luck would have it, we get a super cute bartender,
Candy.
Yeah, we're like, hi, Candy. Or he gets a very important text message.
From a hometown friend that I hadn't heard from in, I would say, a year and a half.
Hey, we're Rick and Tori. Welcome to our podcast.
We are a couple who have been together for 10 years, and these are stories about our extracurricular sextivities.
Our experiences are too good to not be told, they are too important to not be discussed, but mostly they are too fun for you to not listen in.
So,
enjoy the show. Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to Extracurricular Sextivities.
Here we are, another week, another dollar.
Except we haven't made a single dollar off this podcast.
Right, we've decided we're going to start every episode now by asking you guys to do us a big favor.
I want to do like they do at the churches where we stick out the basket.
Right.
You
right
gotta pay us
lens.
each week.
Yeah. That's actually a great idea if it was possible. But we want you to do something for us before we get started. We would love it if you would go to the social media platform of your choice and go follow us there.
Subscribe.
Yeah. It's Extra Sextivities. That's it, right?
All across.
Yeah,
Yep.
All of them are just Extra Sextivities.
And then if you're looking to help us out, if you have the means or would love to just send us a few dollars, anything helps,
Yeah,
honestly.
we're setting up our Patreon.
We have a Patreon and we have an app called Buy Me a Coffee, and those are both / Extra Sextivities.
Yeah, if you feel like helping us out, please do. We need another camera.
Turns out.
We can't afford it. Yeah, so our website is extrasextivities.com. EXTRA sextivities.com. It's real easy. When you get there, it's the portal to everything. We have a really fun episode because last week we had Eat Her Ass was published, and it was published on a very specific day. Mm-hmm. What day was it published on?
It was published on June 12th?
Yeah, so on June 12th, we posted Eat Her Ass, and it's doing really well. People are loving it.
Yeah.
And there was a reason for the day, and there was a reason for the title, even though I ate a lot of ass on that episode. The reason is because it was our birthday. It was our 1-year birthday on June 12, 2023. We posted episode number 1 called Beginner's Luck. So we're going to do an anniversary issue or anniversary show today.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about how much fun it's been and where we've been and
what we've been up to.
Kind of a little bit of a recap.
Where should we start here, love? We should start with Beginner's Luck.
Right.
Beginner's Luck is Rick and I's baby. We actually talk about our podcast being our baby quite often because it's something that we have to nurture and nourish and pay a lot of attention to. And Beginner's Luck, I remember when we first decided, like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to start a podcast. We were so over protective.
Right. We recorded it. What'd you say? 3 times?
3 times.
We recorded that episode.
Just that
3
one
times.
episode.
Yeah. We wanted it to be just right. And the threesome that actually occurred, which the story is based on, was just right.
Yes.
It was Beginner's Luck. And we were really happy with the episode, and we just listened to it again the other day.
Yeah.
And we love it.
It's just so fun.
It was a great first episode. And so if people, we're still getting people coming online to this day. It keeps growing. And in fact, we just got Jamaica. Welcome, Jamaica. We have listeners in Jamaica now.
Mm-hmm.
We got Oman. And so we're now close to 50 countries around the world that are listening. So
I feel like that's another reason why we kind of want to do an episode like this, so that we can give you guys an understanding of what kind of things you might like to listen to, what kind of things that we like to talk about. And so we're just starting with beginner's luck.
Right.
One of the things that you talked about was eat her ass.
Yeah,
the name of this latest episode.
Yeah, that was the other part as to why we called this the last week's episode "Eat Her Ass" for two reasons. One, because this girl really loved having her ass eaten, but everybody's favorite line that we talked to about episode 1, the first thing they say is "Eat her ass."
So many people came up to us and they were like, "Eat her ass." And we were like,
so again, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time and you're listening to me right now, go listen to episode 1. It's funny. It's good.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and play that part right.
Okay, yeah, let's have a listen.
Right now.
And she is making out with Tori, but then she kind of starts slowly kissing her body and working her way down. And now she's gonna start eating Tori's pussy. And then so I kind of like propped up a little
3
bit.
minutes,
And Tori
so
just
hang
looked
in there,
at me.
okay?
She goes, "Baby, fuck her." And so then I got behind her and started fucking her, and she's eating Tori's pussy, and then I'm just going away at it, and all of a sudden I'm like fucking, I'm just that rhythmic thing.
Yeah.
I'm just pounding on it, really going, and I kind of looked over to my right and I was like, ah! That guy had walked upstairs. Okay, so let's recap here. He gets brushed away at the dance floor. Then he comes up upstairs at the club. I have no idea who he is. Then we find out he is with her, but we banish him to the outdoors. Then she convinces us to let him come inside, but I say, "No, you stay downstairs." Mm-hmm. Now he's upstairs standing right next to me while I'm fucking this girl.
How am I I'm probably facing him and I have no idea that I probably got my eyes closed. Head back,
I think your head was back and you're just loving every second of it. And I was loving every second of it too. That's why it startled me. So I'm like,
can you imagine?
I'm like, dude, I'm like, okay, you need to sit down in that chair right there. We have a chair that's in the corner. It's a nice chair that it's almost like it's designed to watch people have sex on the bed. So it's a great seat. It's the best seat in the house. So I say, you sit in that chair and do not move. Just stay there. And he goes and he sits in the chair. So I continue fucking her. And I can't believe I'm having this discussion with him while my dick isn't still inside of her. And then she starts sliding up Tori. I stop fucking her for a second. She starts sliding up Tori, starts making out with her again. Now I'm fucking Tori because she's on her back.
Right.
And then she kind of dismounts from you,
right,
but is still making out with you and then starting to kiss down your body because she wants to eat your pussy while I'm fucking you.
Oh my God.
Right, isn't that amazing? So you just visualize that. And then, so she's doing that. Her ass is up in the air. And I look to my right and homeboy is standing up again. Now he's at the edge of the bed looking at her ass.
We were out for a threesome and we got a foursome.
Yeah, but he wasn't getting to participate. I guess if he was into cucking or something,
Yeah.
So I looked at him and I go,
gave in,
yeah,
right?
I was like, well, fuck it. I go, eat her ass.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me. I go, eat her ass right now. And I was like,
you're going to be here.
I got to admit that was never in my playbook of fantasies. But it kind of it felt good to kind of tell him, eat her ass.
Yeah,
I don't know, something.
I love it. Little,
and he did. He just.
Dominic.
So there you have it. You got to go listen. If you haven't listened, go listen to the whole episode.
Eat her ass. ass.
Eat her ass. Yeah. So
I will say that when we first published that episode, and again, we recorded it 3 times, and we were nervous. We were about to put our sex lives on the internet forever, and getting that response from people where they were just like, hey, eat her ass. And that felt so reassuring.
Yeah.
Because it's something that we can laugh about, and it's something that's just fun and funny. And it did kind of like pull the reality. Like, it didn't feel like it was me anymore. It felt like it was somebody else's story because it was just funny and everybody was laughing at it.
We can listen back to it and it almost doesn't seem like it's us talking about it. Yeah. I can listen to it as if somebody else was telling that story. It's just something I didn't expect, but it's really cool. Still probably our favorite episode.
Definitely. Yeah. We always tell people, hey, you got to start at beginner's luck because it's the best.
It sets the stage.
It sets the stage for the whole thing. And now we listen back and we're like, oh, the sound isn't as crisp as we want it to be, or like little things that we would tweak now that we know have learned over the year. But I have seen people say like, oh, just get through the first couple episodes. They were a little rough. Ours is not like that.
No.
Ours is like, no, start from the beginning and enjoy the ride.
No, it's good. So, so that was, so last week's episode was an homage to that guy who we still don't know who he was. He ate her ass, though. I ordered him to eat her ass, and he did.
Yep.
He did a good job. Good job.
Yeah. Made for a great first threesome. Yeah. And also, it skyrocketed us into this lifestyle of threesomes because if we didn't have that beginner's luck, where would we be today?
Yeah. Tori and I might not even be together right now.
If we had a bad first experience, we probably would have tried again.
Yeah.
But
not with a lot of confidence. Yeah, because I'm kind of still thinking in terms of the episode, but even the experience that we had with her in the first place and the guy, that even set the stage for us to, before we even thought of a podcast, of going out. And Tori and I always wondered where we fit into the non-monogamy or open relationship. And we fell into threesomes and we love it. And we've made so many friends as a result of it. And we have just these great sexual experiences. So.
And with this girl, she really catapulted us into like really getting to explore threesomes in a fun way, because if you then fast forward to the last episode of our first season, episode 7, it's called The More the Merrier. We're with this girl again, and she wants to invite more people into our bed.
Right.
And we do. Yeah. And we have a blast with that. And it's so fun because of how like all of this just ties together and how you like make friends. I wouldn't say in the sexual community, but you just make friends because you get so intimate with each other. One of our biggest fans of the podcast, is from The More the Merrier.
Yes.
I believe we called her Elle in episode 7. And
great episode 7.
Oh my God, it's such a fun episode.
Yes.
It's fun because it was like a season finale. It was like our first go of it. And it's good. You got to go listen to that one too.
Yeah.
Elle is like one of our biggest fans of the show, and she messages us on Instagram.
We make her horny every week. That we post
and she like gets on to us when we don't post.
Yeah,
she's like, hi.
She really let us have it this spring because it's like, hello.
Yeah, 2 months have gone by. Where's my episodes?
Right.
And I love it because I just know that one day I'm going to see her again, and I'm going to get to drink her juices and play with her big titties, and me and Elle are gonna have some fun again.
Do you hear that, Elle?
Husband's, approving, of course.
Yeah, well, I definitely approve. I think he'll approve. So her husband, for those of you who haven't listened to the episode, and you need to go listen, but her husband's super cool.
Oh yeah.
And he's not loaning her out to the two of us. And I completely respect that because he was just such a cool dude. But if he ever wanted to loan her out, but if Tori got to be with her again, Oh, Elle, she would do some crazy stuff to you.
We'd have to do it again because we got to do it for the podcast.
Right.
That's a Rick and I's thing now. Is like we got to do it for the podcast. So you gotta just go along to get along, so we can have a fun fucking story for the podcast.
Right.
But Elle, I love you.
Beautiful girl.
I can't wait to our paths cross again in the future.
Ooh, it just got hot in here.
You know what that makes me think of? We have a few episodes that are mini series.
Right. Some of the girls we were with, we had some kind of not long relationships, but we still have relationships with them. But we had a series of trysts with them,
Right?
And they came in different shapes and forms, and it deserved it. Each one deserved its own episode.
Right.
It wasn't that one got so long that we had to continue. It was just that they were unique in and of themselves, and so we want to give you some suggestions for re-listening.
Well, or if you're new and you want to listen to a few episodes that kind of go together, like say you're wanting to binge listen one day. So I have a few listed here that will go together. So we have a friend named Sasha, and she is a 2-part episode series, mini series.
Mm-hmm.
It is episode number 8 and number 9.
Right.
They're called Do Bartenders Make Better Lovers and Makeup Sex. So if you want to go check out our story with Sasha, she's a bartender from a beach town.
And this bartender definitely made a better lover.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was incredible.
She liked to fuck. You know
Yes.
what's so fun is just finding these different girls who everyone's been a really good lay, but then there's just a few of them that are just like, they want to fuck and they want to keep fucking and they just like to fuck.
Right.
So another one of our girlfriends is Joan.
Love Joan.
Joan makes us moan.
Yeah, she does.
We haven't seen Joan in a while. And
Right.
we've almost seen Joan recently.
Right.
And it's been like, hey, let's get together, blah, blah, blah. And then it just like doesn't pan out, which is just a shame because we still have a lot of stuff to do with Joan.
Right.
But she has a 3-part episode. It's episode
3-part series.
Yeah, 3-part series.
It's episodes 12, 13, and 14. Those are all Joan in all her, it was almost like she had multiple personalities.
Yeah.
Right? Because every time Joan came to us, she had some new kink or fetish or project or whatever, but it all had to do with fucking.
I had somebody tell me today, actually, that, and this is a gay guy, he told me, he goes, I find that it's more common in like the gay community that men want to be like used and abused and just like tortured during sex. Just use me, just, have at it with me. And all I could think of was Joan.
Right.
And how she just was like, just use me.
Yeah.
And we were like, I didn't know how. I feel bad because now I feel like I would be a lot better at it.
Yeah.
But at the time she's asking me and I'm like,
Yeah, Joan wanted to be punished.
She did.
And she still wants
and
to
I was
be
like,
punished.
but you've been such a good girl. Yeah.
It's like you need to be a bad girl to get punished.
And so then we have one more that is a few episode series.
Yeah, episodes 20 and 21. That's Mandy.
Mandy. And technically, Mandy makes her first appearance in episode 18 in the Andes episode.
Right, the Andes.
But the two that are about her specifically are Reverse Cowgirl and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. And The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is it's a really good episode that's just all encompassing of our relationship. I remember we had to talk about that episode for like 8 days straight because it was like so difficult for us to get through all
right. We were so tense about Mandy. Yeah, you'll have to listen to it to know why, but it kind of
surfaced.
Rekindled the kind of the bad and the ugly part.
Yeah.
And not so much the good part, but got to listen to it. Any of those series, if you feel like listening to a couple of them together, they go together
really well.
like wine with cheese.
Yeah.
And so definitely listen to those for just because they're good.
Yeah.
And you'll learn some stuff about how we handled some pretty tense moments on that last one, though.
Mm-hmm. Which kind of gets me into the next thing that we should talk about.
Right.
And that's the lessons that Tori has learned Rick doesn't learn anything.
We have some episodes that have lessons to be learned is what when we were writing our notes, we were like, yeah, these definitely. And incidentally, the good, the bad, and the ugly is one of those. Episode 21.
Right.
Mandy.
I guess I could start by playing some excerpts from that.
Yeah, so let's take a listen and we'll tell you about it. My thought was that I probably would easily get to fuck her if you would go to bed.
If drunk Tori wasn't wandering around just making
and then
big
when Tori and I talked about this, look, and Tori and I have gotten into some heated arguments over this.
It took us like 8 days to write this story because we
just got mad all over again.
So that's real quick. The big lesson in these 2 episodes that we're about to show you is don't get so drunk.
Right.
And this is a little bit more for me than it is for Rick, because Rick can handle his alcohol better than me. It's not that he doesn't drink less than me. He can just handle it better. And getting too drunk.
I deviate less from who I am sober. I'm pretty much the person drunk that I am sober. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little more talkative, but that's about it.
So this is a little bit more about how bad my drunkenness got and the good, the bad, the ugly. Being told, but just like the night before where Rick told me, love, get out of the photo. He says to me, love, just go to bed.
Just go to bed already.
And that hurt my feelings. I was like, fuck.
Even in that drunkenness, Tori was mad.
Well, because they're trying to remedy like wanting to fit in, and now I'm literally being told you don't fit in here, go away. So I go to bed, and I go to bed angry,
right.
and you two follow suit.
Yes,
like vibe is ruined.
Yeah, I'm looking at the note, and it says Rick goes to bed without pussy. That's exactly right. I went to bed without pussy.
So that's what happens when you get too drunk. You go to bed without pussy.
I went to bed without pussy.
And to be fair, it's like I got drunk in that episode and was acting a fool and wasn't, communicating properly. One of our reels on TikTok, or one of our TikToks, went pretty viral from this episode where it was me basically saying, do not say something you do not mean. Yeah. And I was saying stuff I didn't mean because I wasn't thinking.
It was something like 30,000 people identified with that.
Yeah.
And that's a big number. That's when you know she's right about what she says. Everybody was like, oh, yes, it was pretty wild. But so that was a terrible experience.
Horrible.
But a great episode. So you got to go watch it. Episode 21, the good, the bad, and ugly.
Yes. And then the other episode where got a little too drunk and didn't do the right thing necessarily was episode number 6. Big Ding-a-ling.
Big Ding-a-ling.
Which is Rick's favorite episode.
Yeah. You know what? We have people in so many countries listening now that it made me think Big Ding-a-ling struggles to be in the top 10 of our listened episodes. And I'm like, I guess everybody knows what ding-a-ling is, right? If you know, it means big dick. Just in case, like ding-a-ling. What is this ding-a-ling? It doesn't mean that I'm a ding-a-ling, like, oh, you ding-a-ling.
You silly little ding-a-ling.
Yeah.
It's a dick.
It doesn't mean that I was ringing a bell every time, I saw a girl I thought was beautiful.
It's a big, hard cockaroni.
It's a big dick.
Okay, so this episode is from episode 6, Big Ding-a-ling, which is another experience.
So it's a lesson about not getting too drunk. Once again, getting drunk.
downstairs, she was not only on the phone, she was smoking a cig. I was like, hey, would you want to go have a cig? I knew she might have like needed a break to kind of.
Yeah, after the second kiss, and she asked Tori if she was sure. Then we kind of released a little bit.
Yeah, and so I was like, let's go have a cig. And she's like, yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, that sounds good. So her and I just go down there, and we're down there, we're smoking, and I was like, yeah, so what do you think? You know, I'm just kind of having girl talk with her. And she's like, yeah, she goes, it's just, I've never been with a girl. And I mean, I'm really like kind of wanting to. And I was like, oh, I started to see what was going on here. I was like, she only wants to be with me. Right? I'm like, Rick's over there sticking his tongue down her throat. And she's like, oh shit, I want to be with Tori. This is what's going through my mind, you guys.
Tori's had a few drinks.
Mind you,
schooners.
I got on that bus at noon, started drinking then, had my margaritas, then we're having drinks in the room. So this is my drunken mind telling me, I guess, what I wanted to hear. And so I'm like, okay, shit. So we're smoking and I'm just getting the down low from her and obviously not making any sense of it in my mind. But we go back upstairs and I immediately like give Rick the eyes like, bro.
Yeah, well, you came and told me, like, you said, she only wants me, she doesn't want you. I was like, what?
He's like,
okay. What did you say to her? Did you just cock block me downstairs?
I would do that.
Yes.
And so then just real quick, the next part, which is just right after that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking and all of a sudden, ding, in my head, I'm like, she only wants to be with me. That's what is going through my head. And so I just take my...
And because I'm going...
You're being very aggressive, right?
Well, you keep using Tori uses aggressive a lot. I'm being passionate.
There you go.
Yeah, it was like good long strokes just going, I had that nice... I always think of rhythmic motion. That's always my thing, It's like, oh, it felt so good, just... And we're doing it, and she's just looking straight into my eyes. I'm looking into hers, and everything's cool.
Right. But I am not reading this correctly. So I place my hand full palm on Rick's chest, and I push as hard as I can, and I say, love, you're being too rough. And he's like, he just looks at me like I stop him in his tracks, and he looks at me like I've got 6 heads, and then I look at her and she looks at me like I have 6 heads, and I was just like, it's okay. And so I just start kissing her. I'm like, you can't.
That kind of triggers me just hearing that.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's really me just making shit up in my head when I'm drunk.
And so you have to go listen to the episode or re-listen to it if you've already heard it. But she did want me to fuck her. She wanted to fuck the both of us.
Yeah.
She was having fun with the both of us. But yeah, like Tori said, Tori got it in her head that I was not welcome.
Yeah.
Where that came from,
I go on
beyond me.
I go on after that to talk about how I had just met this girl, and I just can't believe that I was making up those decisions for her after such a short period of time of knowing her.
So, but the lesson is don't get too drunk.
And we actually have a news story to tell you guys about Tori getting too drunk. She hasn't learned her lesson. She's trying, okay?
Yeah, this is a recent thing.
As I drink my big old beer. Yeah. Let me tell you about my story. Now, we met a girl recently who we hit it off with in a really good way.
Yeah.
In a really, really good way.
Yeah, she really turns me on.
and she's turned on by us.
Yes.
But we haven't quite sealed the deal yet. And
threesome virgin, though.
Threesome virgin.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is always a rough, that's silly when there's so many people out there that are just like, yeah, let's have threesomes. And we go for the people that have never done it. It's like, let's teach you. We take her out on a date one night. And it's a late dinner, and we're out for like 4 hours. Like, we close the bar down. They're like cleaning liquor bottles at the bar, we're still sitting there like, okay, guys, you got to get out of here, and just talking, having just a great date together. Drive her home, and I remember on the drive home I was just like, God, I want to kiss her. I want to be with this girl. But I was like, patience, like I'll see her again.
Right.
For sure. She had fun. We had fun. It was a good night. The next week we invite her over just to our apartment, and we have it was like a snacky dinner. It wasn't like a full-on dinner. We didn't make her any meal or anything, but we start drinking at the apartment. And we start drinking. And we start drinking. But it's like the vibes are there.
Right.
We can fuck her.
Yeah.
We can fuck. She wants to fuck.
Yes.
She's throwing it out there.
Right.
You make out with her.
I do make out with her.
You totally made out with her.
I was I was in closing. I was closing the deal.
And he goes to the bathroom, and I was like, okay, yeah, we're closing. And I'm so drunk. I'm so drunk that I'm like, oh, let me like lean into her and like, get things going. And I reached down to like grab her crotch a little bit, like on the outside of her pants. And I fall forward right into this girl and like fall on her. And she like stumbles backwards, and I tried to play it off, and I just couldn't. But it's because I was drunk. I was like, I literally couldn't.
Awkward
turtle. I literally couldn't stand up straight, and
that was that.
we invited her over one more time, but it was like for like a breakfast, and that went really well. But
to be continued.
You'll hear about it.
No bad blood there. It's still.
I still feel like I kind of fucked something up that night.
Maybe.
I just hope we didn't miss our chance.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. So anyway.
Stay tuned. So the next big lesson that I feel like we've learned, and this is just from going over all these podcasts and seeing what has happened in them, is if it seems like it's too good to be true, maybe just maybe
it's just okay.
Maybe it's just not. It's not a bad thing,
right?
But it's not going to be like the best threesome.
She's talking about episode 11 that we called Nasty Girl, and
if it's
look, I love fucking girls. So as bad as it was, I still had fun,
and the sex wasn't bad.
Right.
The sex wasn't bad. But the quality of person.
But yeah, that was an example to me about how somebody, there's a whole like, what am I trying to say here? There's a lot of factors into whether somebody is beautiful or not. And it's not just this external look. You can see a beautiful girl walking down the street, but if she has these bad qualities about her, maybe she just seems like a dishonest person, or she seems money grubbing, or whatever it is, it can suddenly make them not very attractive. And this girl had these kind of external attractive qualities to her, but boy, she just kept striking out in all the other ways. And
one of the things is that she just kept wanting all our weed. She demanded that we get her an Uber.
Right.
Hold on, I do have a clip from
but she goes, I don't know, we were back there for a little bit, and I don't know, somehow I didn't feel like seeing where the boundaries were. And so I just let her do her thing, and then we came back, and you guys were back.
Yeah.
And but in the meantime, I told her, I go, hey, listen, if, because she was being nice, and I was just being cordial, and I don't know why I said this other than the fact that I'm just like, I'm always down to fuck. So I said, hey, if you're ever not busy,
hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up, and come over,
You're like, you just put your feelers out everywhere.
Yeah,
like,
I really do.
Something will hit.
Yeah, something will hit. So I basically, told her, if you're on a Wednesday and you're working and
it's slow.
Yeah, it's super slow. Call us up, and we'll, you can come over.
So what does she do?
Yes.
She hits us up.
She hits us up. Like the following Tuesday.
Like if we were there on like a Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember which night it was. Yeah. She hit us up that week. So It was like Tuesday in the middle of the day. And it was slow. It was probably slow. She
Yeah,
probably was
sure.
like, hey, that guy said if it's slow and I'm
Yeah.
not making any money. And she was like, what's up? And I guess what? She got our Instagram.
Right.
So I guess that leads credence to like, that was way too easy.
Right.
And we're like, holy shit, she wants to come over? Like, let's do it, you know?
Like we're that great.
Yeah. And then so you can't be surprised when then she kind of throws out all these negative qualities.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And you'll have to listen to the episode. There's some other things that I
It's
think you'll
fun.
agree with us.
Yeah. And it's fun. And there's no bad blood between anybody or anything. It was just, maybe we just did not our people.
Right.
So the other episode that just seemed a little too easy and turned out like a great sex, good stuff, good fun, but just, I mean, I ended up with shit on my finger. So
Okay.
there's that. Hold on. Let's listen into some parts of that story real quick.
Yeah, and so she's kind of laughing with us about it.
Well, that catches the eye of a girl that was sitting with her, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I guess that gave us legitimacy. So this girl gets up, Janet, she gets up and comes over to us, starts just talking.
She immediately sits on my lap.
Yes. This girl literally fell into Tori's lap.
Yes, she really did.
Yeah.
Because she was my vibe. She was definitely further along in the drunkenness scale than I was, but she was acting as I would if I had a few more drinks in me, right?
Right.
She just asked me for a cigarette, makes herself all comfortable in my lap.
Cute girl, too.
Reaches up my shirt pretty quickly.
Yeah, she starts feeling Tori's tits. I'm like,
Didn't take long for her to grab herself a handful of titty.
And so we're thinking, wow, this is great. Until.
so back to
The sex, though,
Yeah.
because remember, Tori is over there eating some vagina.
Vaginiper.
Yeah, vaginiper.
I was going to town on her, and she was like gyrating is the best way I know how to describe it. Her hips were moving like up and down and around. It's almost as if I could have just stuck my tongue out and she would have done the work for me.
Right.
She was just.
She's a good candidate for this, like sitting on your face.
Yeah, exactly. Those were the moves that she was doing. And
Right.
so I'm into it. But it almost reminded me of like scissoring or dry humping. So I kind of pick her up. She's a lot smaller than I am.
Right.
So I pick her up and turn her over and almost get her doggy style. And I reach around her and start massaging her clit and kind of massaging her clit, but also going into her pussy. And I'm fucking
You're
her.
basically dry humping her.
I'm dry humping
Yeah.
her from behind.
I should have gotten you the strap on.
I
didn't think quickly enough.
And so I'm doing that and I'm rubbing the front of her, but then I kind of slowly, she's sticking her ass up a lot. So I slowly kind of just reach down and start like massaging her butthole with my thumb. And I've got one hand around the front and one hand on the back and I'm massaging and
I'm watching. She's enjoying every second of it.
yeah. And so I just slowly start pushing my thumb into her booty hole and I'm just getting in there and she's like, she's enjoying this.
Right.
And
Tori's going to have a hard time telling this part. What happened, baby? Let us know.
I pull my thumb out of her asshole and there's poo on my finger. But I don't want.
Yeah. So, drinking too much.
And sometimes just the path of least resistance is not always the best path.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what? We talked about this. we wouldn't change those experiences
No,
for anything.
not at all.
And I would want to experience those
Right.
things again and again.
Right. Yeah, no, it's
If anything, it makes you appreciate the good times.
I always tell people, write your own story. Don't let somebody else write it for you. And now you may want to write your story to be just
Pristine.
yeah, everything just went hunky dory. Everything went according to plan. But I don't know. It's kind of fun to tell the story about the crazy, weird, unexpected, shitty fingers, whatever it is. Yeah. So
I will say that
if you dare go listen to episode 24.
I will say, talk about writing your own story. I'm nervous sometimes to tell people our story when it has not beautiful parts to it.
Right.
But I feel like that's what makes it so fun and so uniquely ours is that you really can't make that shit up.
No, it has to play out
It
in front of you.
has to. And so telling you guys is almost that much more fun because I know it's such a unique situation.
Right.
And it's terrifying. It's terrifying to hit publish. And now I know everybody's going to hear all of that. And 'cause it's one thing to sit here and record it and talk to the love of your life about it. But putting it out there in the world has been a leap into a different world. And it's been fun.
And that's a good segue into just a little last suggestion on episodes, and that's episodes that we believe have a good philosophy to them, our philosophy episodes.
Yeah.
And the first one on that would be episode 19, Giving Up Sex.
The giving up sex one was good because we did like some research before and had articles and theories that scientists kind of talk about sex and relationships about. That's really like about a relationship episode, which was kind of fun. And then the boundaries, expectations, and safe words we recorded at our house, which was unique and different and a little more relaxed. And we were just riffing. And so that was it was a more raw look into our lives. And that was kind of cool.
And episode 2, Who Are We? And actually, that's a 2-part thing, but you can listen to just the first one. It gives a really good insight into how Tori and I believe that we became enamored by sex.
The sexual deviants that we are.
Yeah. I think we did some good with that.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you.
Okay.
What are your favorite episodes?
Ooh. Okay. So we both mentioned at the beginning of this beginner's luck.
Yeah, we both agree on that.
That's
Definitely
just always
beginner's
going to
luck.
be top 5. When we get into the hundreds, it's still going to be top 5 because it's our baby, like we said. One of my favorites is episode number 17. Ho, ho, ho.
That's a good one too. I think that was tense for me though.
A little tense for you.
Yeah. So I could see where it was one of your favorites, but for me it was
Yeah, because, episode, it's kind of near and dear to my heart. It's about a long-time friend of mine, and I thought we did it justice for as difficult as the story actually is. But I love the beginning of that episode so much. Just the first 2 minutes.
yeah.
It's the Rick describing or reading his script that he's like writing for the actual show. And
Right.
and how it's, to me, it's like, holy shit, I want to listen to this. It made me feel proud that I edited it, and
Right.
it made me feel proud that, again, we did the story justice because it was a really difficult one for us to tell.
Yeah, that's another one of those where we had to talk about it a lot, and it kind of brought up there was still like unhealed wounds, I guess, and it brought all those to the surface again, and so I like that one a lot too, but I don't know if it's my favorite.
What do you think your favorite is?
I think, it's funny because we talked about this the other day. and it's none of it, we didn't talk about it at all for this episode, and that is that I loved Scarlet Letter.
Episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3, Scarlet Letter. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm just crazy about Scarlet.
Yeah.
She's just the funniest, coolest chick ever.
Yeah.
And just the way we met her, and we've known her now for God, how many years? Lots of years. And we still see her.
Yeah.
I shot her pregnancy photos. She has a baby now with her husband, and I just talked to her the other day.
Yeah.
And she's just really cool, and that's probably why. But I think the episode's good though. But
it's a great episode.
And it's heartfelt. So
yeah.
And then of course our latest one, episode 27, Eat Her Ass.
Eat Her Ass.
That one there, just so you guys know, Tori and I could not stop talking about that experience like the next day and the day after that and the day after that.
It felt like one of our first experiences.
So I hope that comes across to you in the episode, because we were just
elated.
It was just this like perfect storm, and we were just loving it, and just like, I still think about how I thought it's so unbelievable that when we were both down there, me tongue in her asshole, you tongue in her pussy, we're chin to chin.
Yeah.
And I just started laughing, like real time, like, because it was just too unbelievable to me. I'm like, what am I doing right now?
This is me. Am I doing this?
Yeah. And so I hope it comes across on that episode. I think it does, because we were beside ourselves.
I think I mentioned it earlier in this episode too, where when we were listening back to it, or we were listening back to another episode and we're hearing it, it doesn't feel like it's our story,
right?
Because I'm laughing at it like it's somebody else's telling it, and I'm like, how is this me? That's me in there.
So we love it, and it was a great 1 year. It came out last week on the exact 1 year day that our first episode came out.
Yeah.
And that's pretty exciting.
So felt good too to do that.
Right. And then we both agreed that we both love Thy Neighbor.
Love Thy Neighbor.
Episode number 10, Love Thy Neighbor. It was so fun.
Yeah.
We loved the threesomes that we had with our girl. And but you were saying, right, you know where I'm going with this, about we caused this kind of intrigue at our building.
Oh my gosh.
Where everybody would come to us. Was it so and so? Was it the person in 518? Was it,
like everyone, they would be like, I've listened to it 3 times. Yeah. I still can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Who are you guys talking about? And I'm just like, not gonna say.
Can't tell. Sorry.
That's kind of this like beauty to what we're doing too, is that these stories are real in the way that we feel about the girls, the way that we interact with the girls, some of the conversation word for word verbatim. But there are details that we switch up a little bit so that they stay anonymous,
right?
And their cover's not blown. And that's a perfect example of it, where we knew this girl would be wandering around our building, and a lot of our neighbors listened to the show. And
so nobody knows, and nor will they unless she decides to tell them.
Yeah.
Then we're totally cool with it. But I don't think she's going to do that. So, so.
This makes me think of because people talk to us about the show when we run into them, and what is the number one question that we get asked from everybody when they listen to the show?
There's variations of this. The one that bugs me the most is, do you just go find these girls for Rick? But the question is, where do you find these girls?
Where do you meet these girls?
Yeah,
or where do you find these girls?
It gets the word find gets me. If they would say, where do you meet these girls? I would still think that's kind of weird, but they say find. Like, am I wrong about that? Like, when we talk about not humanizing people, To me, when you say,
Objectifying
or objectifying it, that's a good way to put it too, is that, so they're like, but because it always has this attitude to it. So where do you find these girls?
Yeah.
As if they're not real people and you have to find them, I don't know, in a dumpster?
Yeah.
Like, is that what you mean? Or they're at the store?
Yeah.
And,
I know what you mean by that, where it just kind of rubs you the wrong way about how they ask it.
I don't think they necessarily mean it that way, but I think people just think it's so impossible that there's just there's this one type of girl that does this, and that's not true.
That's the beauty. The beauty of us doing this podcast is that we are putting out there that we meet these girls everywhere, right? We are with a bartender. We're with the concierge girl. We're with the neighbor. We're with the virgin, the coworker, the
strippers,
the girl that sits on your lap at a bar one night. They're everywhere.
Right.
And it's so weird because Rick has always told me that. He's like, everybody's about it.
Yes. And so in my whole life of meeting girls and dating or just being with girls, whether it's one night stands or medium to long-term relationships, how many times I've heard, well, I always wanted to do that. I just didn't know. Like the people don't want to bring up the subject. And if you introduce it to them, not take over and overpower them with it, but make them part of it. They're just like, they always wanted to. Everybody wants to have some sort of experimentation with sex. Not everybody, but I would put the number at 95%.
You can tell too.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
either because they're what do you call them on Reddit? The red flag girls.
Oh yeah, get on Reddit and these.
You said the red flag girls.
Yeah, I call them the red flag girls. There's these guys. Like one guy, poor dude. He opened up on Reddit and talked about how he and his girlfriend, who had been together for a little while, wanted to open up the relationship, but he only wanted her to be with girls, and it wasn't. And she wanted to have a threesome with a guy. With him, with her boyfriend, it might have been a husband even, and a guy. And he's like, absolutely not. He was closed to that because I guess he thinks he has to fuck the guy. But he couldn't even stand the idea of being in the same bed with another guy, even if they're both, spit roasting her or whatever. And she wanted that. But in his language, I read it very carefully. In his language, he expressed that he wants to be okay with it, but he just can't bring himself to do it. What should he do?
He couldn't figure out how to become okay with it.
Well, the red flag girls come out. And they just roasted his ass like you're a horrible person. Oh. You're just trying to get more girls in bed and man, I tried my best. I tiptoed it because, boy, you don't get downvotes any faster than to get in an argument with the red flag girls. So I tried my best to navigate that because I could not say anything. And I was like, I personally am pulling for this guy. And here's my message to you, guy. And that is that keep trying. There will be a day if you guys just keep communicating that you will start to get comfortable with that. If you have trouble with being gay, it doesn't mean you're gay. And if you are gay and you're struggling with that, maybe one day you'll be able to come out. But if you don't and you're not, it's okay too. But there will be a day that you'll be okay to be in a bed with another guy and you're both with your girl.
Yeah.
If that's what she wants. If she wants two cocks inside of her, she deserves two cocks inside of her.
Amen.
And that's what she wants. I think that's incredible.
And I feel like you speak from experience a little bit on this.
Yeah.
And that's why you're kind of... Right?
Yeah, right. Because I feel like I have evolved a lot because I was that guy.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I was a bad person. No. But now, so Tori and I, this is a good time to talk about what we think the future holds for us on this show, but also in our adventures out there.
Yeah.
And
because although we haven't had, I haven't had 2 cocks inside of me at once. Hopefully one day I'll get 3.
Right.
I do have 3 holes after all.
You 3-hole woman.
We are starting to explore that simply because, one, it's fair.
Right.
But then 2, it's just something that has been presented to us in a small way, and we've started to talk about it, and we've started to talk about how Rick feels about it, how I feel about it. You know, it does kind of fall on the guy that, oh, you're uncomfortable because you think it's gay and you just want to get more girls in the bed. But the reality too is that I don't know what to do with 2 cocks. Besides like, bah, 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 you know, like slap.
I'll show you, baby.
Like, I haven't had 2 cocks before, so it's new territory for me as well. And so it is something that as a couple we have to learn together, just as we did out in beginner's luck when we well, I guess we both had threesomes before that, so we kind of knew what we were doing, but still, and they're all threesomes are going to be different, and
but like I realized even then when that was some years ago that happened, when that guy walked upstairs and I told him to eat that girl's ass, there he was in the same bed eating this girl's ass, and I was like, okay.
I guess
I didn't want to fuck the guy. I didn't want him sucking my dick or anything, but
you didn't mind that he was there.
Yeah, but there he was. I was like, yeah, you know, they obviously had some. Yeah. Like I think I said in the episode, he friend zoned her.
Yes.
Or she friend zoned him. And this was his big moment. But yeah, you guys haven't listened, go listen to it. It's interesting.
A situation happened the other day while I was at work. This guy came in. He was chatting it up with this one girl, and she came over to me and she was like,
yeah, he was in from out of town, right?
He was. Yeah. And she was like, dang, that guy is a flirt. Like, he's just a lot. He's just chatted like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. I want to go talk to him. And I also just was like, hey, if you want to go home, like, I can help him out or whatever. So I go over and I start talking to him, and it starts off as small talk. I don't just say, hey, heard you're a flirt, but I kind of like ease into it, trying to like feel him out. And we start talking, and it somehow gets into he got divorced, and I was like, oh yeah, something. I've been with my boyfriend for 10 years, you know. And then he just point blank said it. Well, you better go home and have really good sex tonight with your boyfriend. And I was like, well, I think I'm going to, especially because you just said that to me. So then I like start leaning into it. Then the conversation just heats the fuck up. Like, I was like, I can't believe I'm saying this. Like, I'm still working. I give him a QR code to the podcast. I'm like, you gotta listen to my podcast. It's fucking fun. It's right up your alley. You know, how's the sex scene in your area where you live? And we're talking, and he's like, it's great, but yada yada yada. He's telling me that some people like expect him to pay, but he's had up to 4 girls at once, and he's found out that he's poly after he got divorced. And he goes, damn, he goes, I'm really sad that I have to get on this plane. He goes, I feel like you could have taken me home as like a little treat for you and your boyfriend. And I was like, yeah, except for I'm like, I don't know if Rick would enjoy that. I was like, yeah, I mean, we haven't really like had a guy before. And he goes, I'll give him a handy. It's cool. And I lost it. I couldn't stop laughing. I go, you seem perfect for this. He goes, you know, the last time I had this type of conversation with a girl, we just ended up in the bathroom. And I was like, you need to get out of here, bro. I was like, I got to talk to my boyfriend first. Like, that's how like our relationship is. But anyways, that started this whole new conversation with Rick and I.
Yeah, and I feel bad because Tori thought that was definitely a no-go for me. And you were right in thinking that in a way, except that I'm just like, you know what, man? Here's what I liked about this guy. I never saw him or anything, but he immediately included me in the thing. So many guys come on to Tori and they're just like, well, your boyfriend's not here now. And they're just, they could give a shit. And that makes me mad.
Yeah.
But this guy right away was including me.
He's like, you can bring me home as a treat.
Yeah.
I'll give him a handy.
I don't want to be with this guy. But if he's going to be that way about it, and you're into him and he's into you, and he doesn't care if I'm even around.
Yeah.
I'll participate in some way.
He's like, what's your boyfriend like?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wait, do you want my boyfriend or do you want me? And it was again, this lifestyle or us doing threesomes, it just keeps presenting us with new opportunities, and we keep evolving. And I think that that's what I'm excited about for the future.
Yeah, so stick with us. This is going to evolve. Right? I mean, because I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of this guy. There's something tells me
he did ask for my number, and I said no. I didn't know where Rick would feel about, like how he would feel about this, so I erred on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Which turns out I didn't need to, but that's okay.
Right. That's okay.
Yeah. So I think that that's where our future.
Yeah,
is
it's
headed.
exciting. It's kind of exciting.
So exciting.
Yeah. And guess what? It's going to be some great episodes.
It's going to be so much fun. So many fun stories for you guys.
Yeah.
Tell us this. We're going to put up a poll on our Instagram, and you guys need to tell us in the future when we meet girls.
Right.
Are we or are we not telling them about our podcast before we fuck?
Yeah.
Or do we have to disclose this might end up on our podcast?
I don't want to hear the answer to that one.
We have to put
I just feel that we do such a good job of concealing the actual identity of the people.
Yeah.
Anything from names to occupations to whatever that.
But I feel like we're so excited about the podcast all the time that we just end up telling people about it.
Yeah, we tell people about it pretty fast. And we have a few new fans that have reached out and want to get together with us. They want to get together with us. And we are probably going to oblige with one that I know of.
Yes.
That has me very intrigued.
So we're excited to tell you that story because this one's been building up for a while.
Right. Yeah.
That's our anniversary episode.
Yeah. So happy birthday to us. If you guys think of it, go wish us a happy birthday to our podcast.
Yeah.
On whatever platform you use.
Here's to many more years.
Yes.
Of extracurricular sextivities, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
All around the world. You guys have a really great day. Go out there and have some kind of crazy sex.
Yeah. You know what? Fantasize about something today.
Yeah.
Look at somebody that you have a little crush on and just fantasize about them for fun.
Right.
You don't need to act on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can fantasize about it.
Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you so much. And we hope that you come back and listen next week.
Right.
Much love.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.